Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Ghio, CEO of Nasdaq-listed Vasta platform, an education company that provides educational and digital solutions to private schools operating in the K-12 educational sector in Brazil. It's great to have you with us, Mario. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you. It's an honor participating here.
How is the K-12 education market going to emerge from COVID-19, and how is Vasta going to operate in the post-pandemic world?
Great. So for sure, the pandemic has been a tough time for education. Maybe in Brazil, even worse than in other places, because we are kids are outside the school for 6 months now. So it's a long period outside the schools, and this is transforming completely the school environment. Of course, I am representing here the private sector, but the public sector in Brazil is facing the same problems, but I would say with less resources than we can offer to the public, to the private education. Okay, but in some ways, the pandemic has been transforming education in a better way, in a good direction. I mean, at least here in Brazil, the K-12 schools were super conservatives in terms of adopting new technologies, in recognizing that distance learning is important for part of the kids' education. And I believe that after the lockdown, all the schools will accept the digital education, the distance learning, as just a new tool to reach the same value proposition, which is the developing kids. Okay, so in that sense, I believe the pandemic is bringing this opportunity to teachers, coordinators, even families, to recognize that there is another way to teach. And I believe also that the school, what's the school? What is going to be the new normal for the school, right? It's going to be a hybrid school. And by hybrid, I mean not only a school that has to deal with kids in the classroom and kids outside the classroom, right? Kids that will keep studying at home. This is part of the hybrid education, but I also believe that the hybrid school is a school that knows perfectly what is the vocation of the interaction between kids and teachers, and what is the vocation of the technology. For instance, in my opinion, my personal opinion, the school of the future is the school that will let anything that is just instructional, that is just giving information to the students, they will let the students search for themselves in a digital way, okay? But everything regarding to the social emotional development will be the main activity in the school, right? So if we can, fast forward our lives in 50 years, it's a fair question if we will have schools 50 years ahead. Yes, we will, because kids must go to school to develop a relationship with other kids, right? So social emotional skills you can only develop with other human beings, right? So I guess the hybrid school that is emerging after this pandemic, it's a school that sees clearly that everything that is just instructional, just information, right? Marginal content, kids can reach this kind of content in a digital way. Let's focus on the interaction between human beings to develop the social emotional skills, right?
Right. So Mario, how will Vasta help Brazilian private schools in the process of digital transformation? What are some of the main products and services currently being offered?
Yes, great. uh, actually is part of our mission, right? We have a very clear mission. We exist to help private schools to be better in terms of quality, to be more profitable schools because we are dealing with private schools, and also to pass through their digital transformation. So it's in our core to help schools to pass through their digital transformation. For sure, in this lockdown period, having the largest digital learning platform in Brazil, it's very helpful to the schools. So far, we have 4,200 partner schools representing 1.4 million students, right? Our partner schools, they are closed since the beginning of the lockdown. In Brazil was in mid-March, the lockdown. Our partner schools, they are physically closed, but they are digitally operating, which means that all the teachers we have, just to give you this information, we have 107,000 teachers using our digital platform to serve those 1.4 million students. Since the beginning of the lockdown, we saw more than 5 million live classes accumulated in our platform, right? So our digital platform, named Plural, we are helping schools to continue their operations in the pandemic. So every teacher has contact with their students. Every student has contact to their own teachers, coordinators, parents. Everybody is involved in a new environment, but everybody is involved through our digital platform. And when we say digital transformation, maybe the most important part of the transformation is not giving access, is not using technology, but is using data, right? So it's the first time I see a large use of data on behalf of the students, right? Because the presential education, let's say the analogic education, it's pretty much based on perceptions, right? My perception about the student, my interpretation about the student behavior, right? But having a digital platform, we can really see the data. If the student is engaged, if he's studying, if he's succeeding or not, if he's going well or not in the assessments, every kind of data on behalf of the student, to act as soon as possible when we identify there is lack of engagement or lack of, knowledge, or they are not succeeding in some specific point of math, for instance. So we are helping schools, not only providing the best digital platform, but helping schools to see data, to make decisions to be data driven, I would say.
Right. Let's talk about partnerships for a bit. You had mentioned it earlier. So Vasta was created to offer its partner schools a comprehensive portfolio of services with some solutions potentially resulting from partnerships or the acquisition of other companies. What are the prospects for M&A transactions?
Yes, I believe we are in a very interesting time. After raising capital with our IPO, we are seeing many opportunities to acquire companies in Brazil, and we are focusing companies basically as the acquisitions opportunities. We have some key factors that we are looking for these acquisitions. One is the size, right? We are one of the two largest Brazilian companies, so for the new acquisitions, size is important, right? But also a company that will bring a complementary skills to us, right? So, for instance, we help private Brazilian schools to become a full-time school. I believe that sounds weird for you, but even private schools in Brazil are part-time. And we help the owner of the school to transform their schools into a full-time schools, offering English, offering coding, offering robotics, this kind of stuff. So we are looking for acquisitions that will complement our portfolio of products and services, because we want to be the one-stop partner of the Brazilian K-12 school. So it's also important to comment that the beauty of being a platform as a service is that we can identify needs among our clients, teachers, students, and so on. And in a really fast way, we'll try to fulfill those needs. Acquiring a new company, developing a new product. If we have the skills, we'll develop the product, or sometimes we use our platform as a service to partner and plug into our ecosystem. Just to give you this information, we needed more gamification in math, right? We saw the demand for games in math, and we didn't believe we had the skills internally to develop games in math. So we did a partnership with Matific. Matific is an Israeli company, is the largest math gamification provider in the whole world. And we decided to make a partnership with Matif. Matif is already embedded in our platform, is a revenue share business model, right? So by identifying fast the demands and fulfilling fast those demands, we are increasing our portfolio. That's the way we see how we should treat our partners.
Well, Mario, to wrap up here, you mentioned over 1 million kids on the platform, over 100,000 teachers. You've produced over 5 million pieces of content. So certainly product as a service allows you to scale. So when you think about the company 3-5 years out, what are the prospects for growth? How much larger are you looking to, how many more private schools are you looking to bring online?
Yes, I can address your question saying that in Brazil, we have still many opportunities, right? We are addressing only kind of 12% of the Brazilian private schools. So we have lots of opportunity in penetrate more our market. In the complementary area, we offer 3 different services. One we call core education, right? The second is a cross-sell, is the opportunity I just mentioned to transform a part-time school into a full-time school, right? The cross-sell, my cross-sell penetration in the market is less than 0.5%, so many opportunities ahead. And we are also offering digital services, not focusing on the teaching side of the school, but in kind of the back office of the school. And we also have less than 0.5% of the market. So we have lots of opportunity in Brazil to be 5-6 times bigger than we are today. But in my opinion, we are solving the problems in Brazil that we could solve in Argentina, in Peru, in Chile, in the whole Latin America, right? Because schools are facing the same problems. Mm-hmm. Probably not with the same language, but they are facing the same problems, right? So maybe in the near future, I believe that we are going, we will go internationally. Maybe we will expand our operation in Latin America. And again, we could buy a company to start our footprint in Latin America, but we can also bring partners, right? If I have the best digital platform, I can make a partnership with a content provider in Spanish, and we can together explore, the Chilean market, for instance, right? So many opportunities ahead.
That's great. It was wonderful meeting with you, Mario. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thank you. It was a great pleasure being here with you.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.